Welcome, Farida ji.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Love is Cancer and Jan Oncology
Thank you.
IO. And this is a Cancer Healing Journey Talks where we invite speakers who have gone through cancer, maybe as patients, caregivers, or survivors, to share their journey to inspire other cancer patients and caregivers going through the similar journey.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us and giving your time.
Thank you for the opportunity as well.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you with us.
Okay.
So could you please introduce yourself and share your journey? What were your symptoms and how it got diagnosed?
I'm Farida Rizwan. I'm 54 now. I was diagnosed at the age of 29. It was 25 years ago. So I was breastfeeding my daughter back then. And I saw there is a small lump in the breast. So I thought it must be some milk getting hardened or something like that. I did not give much attention to it at that time. My dad had gone through cancer in 1992, and my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1994. And I found this lump in 1996. So typically it should have been like, that is, because two people already have cancer in a family, it could be cancer. But the thoughts usually, you live in denial for a long time. So I was like thinking, if two people have got cancer, what is the chance of me again getting it? Right? Three people in the same family cannot have cancer in the span of 6 years. So this must be something different. But then when I was having a bath, I saw that the lump looks little different. It doesn't look like a part of my body or something. It was a little bit hard and it looked like a bony structure. So I went for a checkup. And then I was diagnosed with third stage breast cancer, infiltrating cancer. So it was kind of shocking, and there was this question, why me or something like that. But for a very short duration, what has happened has happened. Then the next step was like, what can I do to survive this? Because I had two children back then. One was 11-month old and another one was 4 years old. So somewhere I was like, I had more determination to overcome it rather than give up, because nobody wants to leave the young children behind and die, right?
Yes.
And so it was like, whatever I can do, I will do to survive this, no matter if I have to lose a breast or lose my hair or whatever it comes to. Whatever the harshness of the treatment is, I want to go through it because I want to be with my children. So the first thought itself was, I want to survive this. There was nothing like other option is there. So the only option I had was, I have to survive this. So I think that helped.
Okay. So then what treatment you underwent?
I underwent radical mastectomy, that is total removal of breast, and then I underwent chemotherapy, 12 cycles of it.
Okay. So you might have many side effects then?
Yeah. Actually, I lost all my hair. So it grew up after 1.5 years or so. It came back. And no, I think 13, 14 months, yeah. I had to be bald. And then, there was the symmetry of the body was lost. Like one breast is removed, and then you feel that your body is not in proper proportion. The shoulders also start drooping, and you develop some backache initially, because something is missing from your body which you are used to so far. And there was a problem with the teeth also. They started like developing some kind of cracks. So there were side effects, and there were a lot of blisters in the throat, and there was some kind of black spots developed on the skin. So I went through a lot of side effects, but anyway, that was not that important back then, whatever I was going through, because my focus was on, I have to be there for my children, I have to come out of this alive. So life was very important back then.
Yeah. So like how much positive we are, we still get weak sometimes that this is too much to handle, and you might have dark phases to low points to in your life during your cancer journey. So how did you cope up from such situations?
Yeah, the dark um, or the lowest point in this journey came when I lost my sister. She was in the last stages of cancer when I was diagnosed with cancer. So April 28th, I underwent the surgery, and June 6th, we lost her.
Okay.
So it was a very harsh blow for me to know that I have lost my sister to cancer and I am going through the same illness. Will I be able to overcome this? But then again, my sister did not undergo any treatment. She was very skeptical about the doctors and the treatment, and actually the side effects of chemotherapy and all. So it was emotionally very draining for me. I mean, I felt my weakest at that time, but then I saw my parents were really very badly affected by my sister's passing away. So I did not want them to go through that again. I knew that if they lose two daughters to the same illness in a short span, that would be very difficult for them. So that again kind of brought me out of that depression which I was into, and I decided, no, I want to be there for my parents also. Initially, it was more thoughts were on my children, but then my parents also became important.
Yeah. So we can say your children's and your parents kept you going.
Yeah, my brother and sister were there, and yeah, they were also going through a lot of emotional trauma when my sister passed away. So somewhere it became like, yeah, the person who dies is gone, but those who are left behind suffer much more. And we are not supposed to just leave them like that and go away. We have some responsibility towards the person who loves us, right? We are
Right.
not supposed to desert them just like that and go away. So I decided, yeah, I'm going to fight it out as much as possible. At least I will not be the cause, like I gave up and I'm giving up and going away. If it happens, it happens, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to fight. I'm going to do my best to overcome this.
Yes. And so you have been on both the sides. You were a caregiver to your father and your sister too, and you have been
And my
on
mom
patient
as
side
well.
too. Okay.
Yeah, my mom also underwent cancer in 2004.
Okay.
We lost my mom to cancer in 2006. So three of my family members have lost their life to cancer.
Okay. So how is your journey as a caregiver?
Caregiving is difficult because I know I may think this is best for my mom or this is best for my sister, but they may not agree with that. Now, I may know, I may consult the doctor and say, yeah, this is best for you, but they may not agree. Then you are in conflict that this person is making a wrong decision. You know that, but you have to give them the choice because it is their body and it is their life. You know it can be harmful for them, but you have to yet keep patience. And then there are moments of frustrations when it happens to us or the patients themselves, those who are going through cancer.
Yes.
And yeah, sometimes you know that we may lose this person, and that makes it very difficult. And
Yeah.
then comes that episodes of anger also, na? Because this
Yeah.
person is going to go away. And there are a lot of issues emotionally, physically also draining because the needs go on increasing as the disease progress. So as a caregiver also it is very difficult, I would say. As much as the person who's going through cancer, if you love that person, it depends upon it's directly proportional to the amount of love you have for that person
Yeah.
or how much you care for the person.
Yeah, correct. So, as a caregiver, how you used to take care of yourself? Like you said, there were episodes of frustration, anger. So, how you used to take care of yourself?
I started going to a counselor. I started counseling, and yeah, I seeked help, professional help, because I didn't want to damage whatever good memories I could create. I didn't want to make my own decisions, so I depended on guidance and counseling so that I would not mess it up. In a way, I managed it, I should say. Without professional help, I wouldn't have. But I just ran to the council area. Please help me out. This is too much for me to handle on my own. I'm unable to do this, so I need help. So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes counseling is
Uh,
very important and helpful too.
yeah, we need it. I realized that because if not for the counseling and if not for the help I received, I would have messed up a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm very sure of that. I wouldn't have been able to handle my children, my sister's illness, and yeah, there were a lot of financial issues, and there were a lot of things which I had to handle. But again, I think going to the counseling again gave me a new perception to my own life as well. Not only the overcoming the cancer and handling the caregiving part of it, but also to my own life, like where I'm doing right things and where I'm not being doing the right.
Okay. Yeah. So when you were a patient, how you
Mm-hmm.
used to take care of your mental health?
Yeah, as I told you, one thing is I took refuge in my children. I spent a lot of time with them. Children are a blessing in a way. I feel that they bring in a lot of positivity. They show you the positive side of life because, again, my daughter was a special needs child and she looks at things in a very simple way. So by when I was overcoming cancer, most of the time I spent with my own children, and then after that also I have been involved with children quite a lot. So they bring in a lot of positive energy to me. They help me overcome it. They are like a therapy themselves.
Yeah.
And I started reaching out to people and talking to a lot of people. Started writing. I used to write a lot earlier, but then I started writing how I feel and what is my feeling today and why I'm feeling like that. I would evaluate it on paper. Like, yeah, today I'm sad and why? Because I have gone through cancer, I have lost my hair today, and what will happen out of it if you're feeling sad? Will the hair not come out? I used to have the discussion on paper, like a communication, a dialogue on paper. And
Mm.
in the end, I would feel a lot of, there is a lot of positive side to it. I have lost my hair, but it will come back. But again, I'll be surviving as well. And there were a lot of things which went like that, and that helped me quite a lot.
Yeah. So you were mindful of your feelings and thoughts that time.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever started as a very bad thing would end up as being not that bad. Or sometimes it would look like, yeah, this is good enough. This is good enough. It's
Yeah.
worth it.
Worth
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So what was your support system?
Actually, I would say support system was very less because all were in a very big dilemma back then. See, my parents were very much hurt and very much depressed with my sister's diagnosis, the prognosis it went ahead with, and the way she passed away at the very young age of 31. And my dad also had retired and he also had gone through cancer, and it was financially a very big hole in our pockets. And my brother and sister were too young, and they were also highly affected by all the happenings in the family. Like they were one year they were studying in college or working or something like, and all of a sudden there is so many chaos in the family. Like my daughter is with special needs. Then my dad was went through cancer. First, my dad went through cancer. Then my daughter was diagnosed with special needs, and then my sister went through cancer. I went through cancer. It was for a people who are around 20s. It is too much to handle. So, and then my husband also, he was in Dubai. He came for my surgery, but I think he also felt too burdened by all the things happening. Like, our daughter is with special needs. Yeah, wife is going through cancer, and he went back. And I was not in touch with him for 2 years. Um, in a way, that helped me quite a lot because I was on my own, and for some time I felt very helpless. Like, what am I going to do now? But then, usually, when you ask that question, really meaning to find an answer, you find an answer. Usually, we just ask it just like that, not with an intention of finding an answer. But I found that, yeah, no matter what I'm going through, I can always be independent. I don't have to be dependent on others. So I started doing soft toys. and I started selling it. In 1996, I think softwares were a craze, so we could move it very easily. I could sell it very easily. Yeah, it started with that. Then I started stitching clothes because I couldn't go out and work because I had a child and I was bald, and not many people hire you when you are bald. And I had a very less experience working before my cancer. I mean, I used to coach students at home and I used to do training for students, but never went out for a permanent job. So it was not that easy finding a job. But I thought, yeah, why should I find a job? I can do anything, whatever is available. So software is teaching, and yeah, odd jobs here and there. And I think I was doing much better than all those who were holding a regular job. So financially, I became independent, and I think that was one of the best thing that happened to me. That I didn't have a support system when I went through the toughest time, because I feel it made me so strong and so confident that I have never wavered after that. I feel, yeah, in that time, if I could come out of it, what can happen now? So nothing has come up to that mark. And yeah, from that time onwards, I have more respect for myself as well. I felt, yeah, I didn't break down. I
Yeah.
did not, yeah, I could face it and I could come out of it. So I think it was one of the best things that happened.
Yeah. You have survived your toughest phase of life.
Hmm.
Yeah. So as a family, like there were many things going around you. So
Yeah.
as a family, how you all came out of this? Because it needs a lot of understanding to understand each other's condition, that what each
Hmm.
single person in your family is going through.
Actually, I think most of the things, the concentration went on my children also, and most of the time they held the whole family together. And I think in a way I became their support system for a few years until they recovered from my sister's loss or my illness or whatever it was. So the way they saw me, like she has undergone this, but still she's not feeling weak or anything. So I think that gave them a lot of courage. I was with my parents for quite some time. I did not leave them for another 5 6 years. So I stayed with them, and somewhere we picked it up, and things got back to normal slowly. We still miss our sister. The void has never been filled, or we have never been able to accept that we lost her all of a sudden. It was not all of a sudden, I should say, cancer progressed slowly for 2 years, but it was something like we still expected something to happen, like she will overcome it, she'll survive or something. So it was still difficult. It is still difficult to know that we lost her, and but somewhere after, in the time of 3 4 years, slowly things got back to normal.
Okay. So what were the things that made you happy on your cancer journey? Like you said, writing made you happy. So what were such
Yeah,
things?
what made me happy was when the hair started growing back. Yeah, it looked like, yeah, things are going to go go back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then gaining financial independency. That was also kind of a very good progress for me, because I had never thought that would happen. I never thought becoming financially independent was that easy.
Mhm.
So if I could manage my own expenses, that made me very happy. And my daughter would go through 1 or 2 milestones, like she would sit one day or stand one day. By the age of 5, she started walking. That was good milestones. So that made me very happy. And I think my way of lifestyle changed from being a very introvert person who would just never speak out to people about what I was going through or what I was feeling, or what my needs were. I started reaching out to people, not just my family, because my family was going through a very rough time, but I approached the right people, like Helping Hand. And I found very good people who were voluntarily counseling people. I never paid for my counseling, so there were volunteers who helped. And those kind of setups, like knowing there are people out there who are willing to emotionally support you. And those kind of exposure also made a huge difference. And their guidance was very appropriate. They were not just guiding me, yeah, you can do this, you can do that, or you can be brave. It was not like that. It was very specific. What is the solution for this issue? About my son, he was having a very bad emotional time back then because he saw his aunt losing her life and he was very close to her, and he was seeing me losing hair, and that made him very scared. Because hair is, I don't know, losing hair becomes a very scary thing for children. When a person with a full head of hair is slowly losing it and becoming bald, it makes them feel that something terribly wrong is going on with this person. So he was also very scared, and how to handle him emotionally. And all those guidance came from the counselors I was meeting. And it kind of made him also emotionally very stable, I feel. Otherwise, maybe it would have left very bad scars, because I started talking to him, discussing things with him, and he would ask me sometimes, "Ma, so many big people have." Whenever he saw the news that some politician died, I think at that time one of the biggest politician, somebody had died, and he saw it in the news, and he asked me, "Ma, even a politician with so much of power didn't survive cancer. Do you think you can?" I don't know. Yeah, it depends. It depends upon how you face it, how much willpower you have to survive. And those kind of talks went on, and it gave him some emotional stability, that I see him now without any anger issues or more of a frustration or that kind of a sadness or depression, or and I don't see those kind of things in him no matter what happens. He's very stable emotionally. I think even to certain extent my daughter is also like that, even though she gets angry at times, but yeah, emotionally she can handle things very well.
Okay. So they have also become very strong by this journey.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, when you are so introvert that you keep everything to yourself, it becomes hard to take the step to ask for help. So, how you
Yeah.
took that step?
I knew if I don't take that step, I'm going to mess up everything. I'm going to hurt everyone around me, because I could sense that all the thoughts that were coming into my mind were not positive. And I didn't want to have that to happen, because the one thing what was the funny part of it was, I never knew I would survive for 25 years. I thought, yeah, I'll be there with my children for a short time, and yeah, let me not give back memories of very bad mom to them. Or yeah, I had been a very rebellious daughter for my parents also to handle. uh, and yeah, I didn't want them also to be left with the feeling that, yeah, my daughter was very rebellious. So I felt a need to be in the memories of my family and my friends as a good with some positive memories, not something which would make them cringe or something or feel very unhappy about. So yeah, that how to do it, and the answer was like, consult somebody, find a way how to make this into a positive thing. Don't mess up, because the thing was like, you have a very short life and make the best use of it. But fortunately it went into 25 years. So good.
Yeah. So,
The panic
congratulations.
was there, like, yeah, maybe I may not survive long, and my children shouldn't remember me with the wrong impression. And if I'm going through cancer and all these things happening, I may not be able to handle it, and I'm going to do some mistakes. So let me avoid it. So that is how. And I think keeping everything bottled up and talking about it openly, it makes a very huge difference. I mean, that's a huge difference. I'm a completely different person after that.
Yeah. So, you need help. You can't just survive alone through all these things.
Uh, yeah, I feel that way. But maybe there are people who may not need it or what. But in my case, I'm 100% sure I wouldn't have done the right things if not for the help I got.
Yeah. And
I'm very sure
congratulations
of
to
it.
your 25th cancer anniversary.
That will be happening in April. I'll be completing
Yeah.
25th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So, did you make any lifestyle changes during your cancer journey?
Uh, Lifestyle changes.
Like doing yoga,
I don't know whether
pranayama,
I
any
should talk
diet?
about it or. Yeah, I don't know whether I should talk about it because I may send a wrong message. Because I was a very health freak earlier. I followed a very strict diet, and other than the 2 years when my son was born, I was a very happy mom, just ignoring myself, being very involved with my son. Apart from that, I have always been very conscious, like what I eat, to exercise regularly, go for walks and everything. But after cancer, I was thinking I have missed out a lot of things because I enjoyed chocolates, ice creams, but I used to restrict myself from eating them because they were not very healthy. I thought, okay, anyway, I have gone through cancer. I don't know how long I'll have to eat this. So let me eat some ice creams, let me eat some chocolates. And I did not worry much if I missed my walk or if I missed my workouts or anything. I thought, okay, let me relax and let me be happy. So happiness became an important factor, and rest of the things took a background. And somewhere I think it was I gained weight. Yeah, I gained a lot of weight after that. But then, other than that, I never developed any health issues. So I feel stress and not being happy also affects you quite a lot.
Yeah, so we can say you are very much aware of how you can take care of your mental health.
Nah, that I think I concentrated more on that
Yeah.
rather than the physical thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, happiness became a very important factor. Even I would tell my children also, I don't mind what marks you score in school or what achievements you do. Be happy.
Yeah.
And never feel unhappy about that, because your happiness comes from within you, whether you accept it or not accept it. If you feel I'm not good enough, you'll always feel unhappy. If you feel this is good enough for me, then you'll
Hmm.
be happy. So somewhere I think I passed it on to my children also. I was not the kind of a person who would say, yeah, you have to be here to be happy. You can be happy wherever you are. So I think somewhere that thing took over a lot over me. Like as I tell you now, I never thought I'll be here for 25 years. Maybe if I would have known that, maybe I would have again become a health freak or something. Like, yeah, I should not eat this or not do that or this and that. But somewhere I thought, okay, it's a short life. Let me enjoy, and the enjoyment continued for a long time.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So, do you think cancer has changed you in a positive way?
Of course, yeah, 100% sure of that. I used to think earlier, if I'm doing some counseling and if somebody comes and tells me I have a headache, I would feel like, yeah, I have gone through cancer. What's the big deal with headache? But it didn't go that way. Initially, I would feel, yeah, headache, and these people are coming and complaining to me. What's the big deal about it? But cancer somewhere made me very empathetic to everything a person would say. Like, maybe it is a small deal to me, but it is a big deal to them. So whether I'm hearing out a breakup thing from a person, or about complaints about the parents waking up early in the morning, a child would come and tell, my mom wakes me up very early. I want to sleep another 15 minutes, but they don't allow me. I would actually feel the empathy was there. I could understand. Yeah, they are feeling bad about it. Maybe the mom is right and the child is right, but the child is not happy with that. Or somebody going through a breakup. Yeah, somebody is feeling bad about it. So somewhere I think it made me much more better person than I was earlier. The other thing is, I used to be very judgmental about things. I think that slight thing is there in me even now. I judge people but very less compared to what I used to do prior to cancer. So even the counseling also helped me in that way. Because most of my problems were I was judging people. They're not doing this right. They should have been like this. They should have done that like that. So yeah, you do whatever you want. I don't want to judge you. That makes everything very peaceful around you.
Yeah. So we can say these
So
are the
even when
lessons
my
you got.
husband was away for 2 years,
Hmm.
during my very tough times, I didn't feel like, yeah, you have married me, you should have taken care of me or anything. I thought, okay, this is an opportunity for me to explore what I can do. This is the opportunity for me to explore my strength. So let me not judge him. Let me not put the blame on him. Let me do what I can do. So those kind of thought process were not there earlier.
Hmm.
So this was something, I should say, a gift from cancer.
Wow.
Somewhere, it came after the experience itself.
Mhm. So cancer has taught you many things, we can say.
Yeah, it was like now you again, as I tell you, it is like being very close to death.
Yeah.
Like if I die today, what am I going to leave behind? That thought will never come to us unless something happens. I think, at least in my case, it never came to me. Like until I went through cancer, I never thought, okay, if death comes to me, what will happen? What I'm going to leave behind? That thing was not there in me earlier. So only that experience, and once that thought sets in you and you know that you're not going to be there forever, I think we become better people. That realization is a huge effect on our lifestyle.
And what are your thoughts on the work and help xenonco.io and Levels Cancer are doing?
Pardon me?
What are your thoughts on the work and help Levels Cancer and xenonco.io are doing?
Yeah, I appreciate that you are encouraging people to fight out cancer and showing the positive side of it as well. Because usually people look at cancer as something very negative. Yeah, it is a very bad illness. I wouldn't say it's something everybody should welcome into their life or something. But I feel when it happens, uh, yeah, it is like your milk goes sour, you can make rasgulla. It is something like that. It's
Yeah,
not like
wow.
something you want to actually your milk to get spoiled, but you can make use of it. Or
Yeah.
apple rods, you can make a face mask out of it, something like that.
Yeah.
So cancer, I would just say it. People have to start looking at it like that. Let it not happen to me, but if it happens, I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm not going to allow it to bog me down or leave a negative impact on me. I will take it as a learning experience and come out of it as a better person. So that would be the right attitude. And I think the work you're doing will somewhere spread those kind of awareness. And also, I think they will realize the treatment options, how people can overcome it. And yeah, the newly diagnosed patients do need that.
Yeah.
So congratulations on the good job you're doing.
Thank you so much. And you are a part of it now. You are also inspiring other cancer patients by sharing your journey.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. So, what will be your message to other cancer patients and their caregivers?
For the caregivers, I would say, uh, see, many times what happens is people start a lot of calculations, like what we are giving and what we are getting back. So, at the time of cancer, I think that calculation should be kept aside so that there will not be like, I did this today and I did that today. What will that person do to me? How am I going to be compensated for that? It should be like unconditional support you give to a person who's really on the verge of losing their life. They are going through a lot. The patient themselves are going through a lot. And there are people who think, yeah, some people just do not want to get in touch with people who are going through cancer because they know there is going to be a financial crisis there. In most of the cases where health insurance is not there or somebody has to pay from pocket, so people usually try to avoid getting in touch with them so that yeah, they will not try to borrow money or something like or ask for some help. So those kind of things can be overcome because we don't know who's going through it when. Yeah, we can be in that shoes anytime. So I was a caregiver and I immediately I was a caretaker. I was in need of caregiving. So it
Okay.
happens like that. We never know. So we can just think, and a little bit of a human side of us can come up. And for the patients also, we have to, I would say that concentrate, focus more on something other than the cancer, what you're going through. Because changing the goals and changing the focus makes a huge difference. Because if you get up thinking, I'm going through cancer, what should I do? And will it kill me? Or is it very serious? Or what? And reading more about it. Like thinking the cancer, what should be ignored? And you can think about what can I do today? Should I go to the park, meet my friends? Or I usually, I myself, I focused on targets every year. This year, what I'm going to do. This year, I thought I will study again. I will take this degree. Next year, again, another exam, and then job, finding a good job, and learning something new, or a target, like some target was there. This year I'm going to make my child do this thing. Or every year I had a major goal, and the focus would be so strong on it that I had very less time to think about cancer. So every 25 years I have had a goal, and my focus has, maybe I have been successful or failure, that doesn't matter. But I never had time to think about cancer. So that helps quite a lot.
Yeah.
Cancer is there, but then your life is also there, right? Cancer
Right.
shouldn't become the life, shouldn't
Yes.
get attached to your life. It should be something which came and it went, or
Hmm.
it came and it is in the background now. It shouldn't get into the focus all the time.
Yeah. Correct. It was a phase and
It
that is
gets,
gone now.
yeah, it is kind of little bit overrated also, I think. No, it is a deadly disease,
Yeah.
but in the life it shouldn't be overrated. If it is
Hmm.
going to win, yeah, let it win in its time. But as long as I am in control, or let me keep it aside and live my life.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
then some consideration should be given to the caretakers also, because yeah, when I'm going through cancer, I am hurt and I am pained and I'm scared. But it's not different with the caregivers also. They're also
Yeah.
hurt. They're also going through a very major setback, and they also have their issues. So the
Mm.
person who's going through cancer should have that consideration as well, I feel.
Yeah. Caregivers suffer silently in the background.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times. And being a counselor, I have gone through a lot of cases where the caregivers have suffered more than the patient themselves. It happens sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing your journey. It was really very, very inspiring listening to your journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, and seeing your jolly nature.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, that is another good part of cancer. It made me look everything in a funny side of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything looks very funny.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And
Bye, Divya.
yeah, bye. Yeah. Have a great day.
You too. You too. Have a great day.
Hmm. Bye.